Right. So last session, you all kind of traveled the green rolling hills of Galos up to the city of Dunbrook, the capital of Galos. It is the home of the leading clan of Galos, where family of Dunbrook and the McKinley have called home, and it's currently the capital or the main the place where Queen Merida resides, and has been kind of conducting business for across the country. What's going on currently? You guys arrived at the gates, quickly being identified as a McKinley. You were not given too much interrogation to pass through. You guys did some quick exploring of the city. It wasn't uh, nothing too uh, I mean, you guys did some shopping, I guess, through the city as you guys made your ways back to the center of town where, Queen Merida stays at, and where the major group of the population kind of congregates at from during the day and the evening, especially. You all had stopped and did some shopping at Blacksmith, placing a few custom orders, an enchanter that was able to help you with some low-level enchantments placed upon your wagon and other various things, as well as you tasked them to create some spell scrolls while you guys are in town. He asked for about 3 days to complete all the work, and Anika, I'm sorry, I forgot to message you that they did do some shopping, so. If you wouldn't like to retcon anything or add anything to your shopping list, or we can either include that in today's session or retcon that. But just to back up, or a little background is that the shops are it's not the high magic shops that you were experiencing when your last time during Sunos or in Erosia. um Dunbrook is you know a humbler city, but not like a traditional kingdom in several of the other places you've been, other countries you've um been in the past. um and then you guys met at the main hall, where there was several tables where some were eating and dining at. But even at this hour of the day, you were expected to see a few more people than what you saw inside of the town. um the town is not as animated and alive as you're used to experiencing, Lorna. And your group and you were at the table, kind of trying to just get your bearings, and you went looking for someone and ran into your uncle. And then you guys exchanged some information, and eventually he informs you to kind of meet him at your aunt's private quarters to meet with her to kind of learn more or share more. I can't remember exactly what we last left off on that. So, uh, Meg and others, please feel free to clarify anything I kind of goofed on.
Um, no, that seems about right. I think we were just finishing food and gonna head up to meet her.
Okay. Two meetings have opened on my screens. Um, right. Let me get character art also up on my screen or my folder real quick. Um, oh, I have not made tokens for some of your uncle yet. Shoot, that's okay. I still have
That's
the
okay.
art from the
It's
folder. I
fine.
can always dump it in that way. Um, 101. Okay. I am looking for that family tree. That no, this is be all right. All right, so you guys finished the meal and the drink that they brought to your table, and kind of wrap up your your mats a little bit, if you will, and head towards the private quarters of this massive building, away from this communal hall that you guys are dining and eating from. You kind of take the same path that you saw Lorna walk away from the group last time, where she kind of walked out to the perimeter of the room and started walking around in, the outskirts, where it kind of goes behind a wall, behind where the main family of Dunbrook would sit. That being like Queen Merida and her immediate brothers or sister or brothers or immediate family. Um, but you kind of step back behind the wall and continue to follow it around the perimeter of this room until you find a hallway, um, with some nice stone steps that kind of vary in height. So it makes it a little bit of a challenge for probably, or not much so much a challenge, but maybe a nuisance for you, Anika, as you kind of have to shift your gait a little bit on these changing steps. But you make it to the door where start to hear some you'll hear some discussions, but you'll see at the front of the door your uncle sitting there waiting for you, Lorna, and others. So let me go ahead and post a picture of what he looks like. Did I hit enter? Okay, that didn't work. By dragging it. There we go. I did not have a chance to zoom into his face to get you a more up close portrait of him. Um, but you'll see he has kind of shorter red hair on the side with some blue tattoos along his face, with a decent size uh, beard upon it. It's not very long and hanging, but it's you know he kind of sits there with his ear kind of intent on the door behind him, but then his eyes raised to meet you all as you kind of approach. He nods at all of you, and he welcomes you all. He was just kind of waiting for the perfect time to kind of introduce ourselves. Um, it's hard to kind of make out what's happening behind the doors. You just kind of hear this whoop, 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 kind of going back and forth. Anything that you guys want to say or do before he kind of knocks on the door to introduce you all?
I quickly do prestidigitation to get the dirt and grime from the last battle off of me, because I have not done that yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
What was that? Go ahead, Lauren.
You're asking for introductions beforehand?
No. I just didn't know if there's anything you want to do before he knocks on the door and introduces you guys to the room.
Does he have a trigger? Is there something we should not say, like slave?
What? Where?
No. It's
Okay.
been a while since I've been back home, so yeah. It'll be fine. This is my family. Be nice.
We won't cause any chaos today.
I appreciate that.
I think we should lower expectations. We will try not to cause chaos today.
We'll try. Okay.
As you guys discuss this in front of your uncle, he looks very nervously at all of you and looks to you, Lorna, and says, Are you sure everyone should be coming in here? It sounds
Yes.
Your aunt's been through quite a bit already.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, no, they know more, and I don't want to like make plans without them knowing. And yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of the muffling kind of goes back and forth a little bit, but at some point there's a little bit of a lull between whatever discussions happening behind the doors, and you'll see that your uncle, Hubert, just gives a nice hearty knock 2 or 3 times on the door, and then begins to open the door, step in, and announce that he has very, very important and surprise guests to introduce um, to the queen and the guests of the room, and you'll see him kind of open it wider and you'll see several individuals kind of in this room, kind of around this table discussing different things. Um, and you'll see that it does have a Queen Merida there standing kind of in the center of this room, seated right next to the table. Her she does keep a let me take a picture. I know you can see I've already seen a picture of her. She is a little bit more refined and collected in her, but different from this picture that you see here. You'll just see that her makeup is maybe not as pristine as it always is. She seems a little stressed as in regards to you see kind of creases in her forehead and some bags kind of appearing under the eye that makeup can only cover so well. um you'll also notice that there is one two three one two three four other gentlemen standing in this room. um Lorna, you'll recognize one of them immediately as your father, Hamish, and the others you would are wearing. Let me look at pictures of these. Galos. There you are. And the others are wearing various attire, but they all kind of have that matching color and banner that is on that landing page for the different houses or different clans that make up the country of Galos. You will see this guy standing in the room. Arthur McGuffin, Kaylin McIntosh, and Ruben Dingwall. Send. Does not put their names next to that. That's my bad. I will just kind of from top to bottom read those out again. So it was Arthur McGuffin, a larger, broader chested man with some blue fabric kind of hanging from him, lots of pelts and furs and leathers, and some familiar blue markings like you saw on your Uncle Hubert when walking in the door. Another man with longer, blonder hair with a whiter beard. He representing the McIntosh clan, named Kalen, and the last one, probably the younger of the three, of all four men in the room, including your father Hamish, is Ruben Dingwall, who's a little bit. So there's that, and I did not grab a picture of your father, so let me go grab that.
Just get a picture of Darth Vader.
Yep. He's starting his own empire. He said, forget the Empress. I'm going to show you how it's done better.
No, it's Anakin before he turns to Vader.
There we go. All right. And so these are several of the individuals that you'll see kind of around the room. They've definitely been at discussions for a reasonable amount of time, and your oh, 1 second, sorry. So they kind of they welcome kind of the break, the pause in their conversation, and they look back over at you. You could as you guys kind of get introduced into the room. The queen's face seems a little tired. Actually, go ahead and give me a perception check, please.
Okie dokie.
Oh shit, I'm still fucking exhausted. It's fine. Oh, I wouldn't have that. Yuck.
Okay. All right. So, Faye and Lorna, can you guys give me insight checks?
Insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very tired.
Okay.
Yep, we have not had a long rest. I do not have lucky at the moment.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna go. So you guys kind of are looking in the room again. I've described who you see in the room. You'll see, and everyone notices, is that the face of Merida kind of welcomes a long lost smile, if you will, as he kind of cracks one, looking at you, Lorna, and then your friends kind of coming through the group. You'll hear her kind of whisper words. I'm so glad. She'll kind of whisper that, just kind of like out of turn in a way, or it's almost like a thought that she meant to keep to herself, but she kind of said out loud, and she just kind of whispers, "I fear the worst." I'm so glad I was, you know, that she just says, "I fear the worst," real quick to herself, and then she'll kind of look to the rest of the or she'll kind of look at Hanish and with to share that kind of smile, and then the others, but what you'll notice, Lorna and Faye, is that the glances and views back to you just are varied in response to the one that you received from your aunt, but it's quite unclear as to why. It's a little confusing in their body language. What would you all like to do?
Well, first, Lauren's obviously gonna go up and hug her dad. 'Cause, fuck it. And then...
And
Go ahead.
oh, I'll say he'll embrace you back,
Oh,
give
yeah.
you a.
Well, surprise. Yeah.
On the side of your father will just address you directly, like, I knew nothing bad could have gotten to you.
I mean...
And he just kind of looks like he's taking a moment to breathe you in, kind of just examining you and looking you up and down, and just kind of making sure you're real in a sense, but kind of just living in the moment at your presence. Um, yeah, Merida will kind of speak up and say, uh, actually, not Merida. Sorry, can't keep track of all these names.
I'm sorry. It's not...
So no. It's all right. Let me scroll down here. So the older one of the three other clans will kind of speak up and say, "We kind of expected the worst when you didn't come back. Come back from the Western Wood, and you know when you weren't, we couldn't. When you didn't arrive to the attack in the frozen seas."
Yeah.
Merida will kind of look at him and then look back at you as well. Go ahead.
We kind of got caught up in some stuff, when I was first brought out to the Western Kingdoms there, kind of met a group, and yeah, all these forgotten and all these people that are just seemingly back. Yeah, we've kind of been tasked, I guess, to fight them and save the world, in a short sense.
Merida will then kind of interject before he can kind of add on to and say, and how goes this quest? She said, yeah, she just says kind of point blank.
It's going. It's we're almost there, But so is the enemy. We just recently found out some information that would suggest that we're kind of 1-for-1 at this point. So
they kind of look. They all kind of share a look at with one another and kind of look back at you and like. And they just kind of share a look amongst one another and then kind of relook at you as you kind of share the details of what you guys have been up to.
yeah.
They will. Merida will kind of respond to that to you and like it's been far from good. It's been a long time since we've had good news to share. And it's been even longer since we've shared any news with the Western Kingdoms, as we hear that their affairs haven't been going, haven't been improving much either. So she goes, I believe it's no news to you. I'm sure word has made it across the sea, and you've gotten letters from me or family that have told or that have shared so far what has been happening over here, but we're constantly trying to fight back and cut down the thorned wood that's growing from the east, and Faywin is saying they're having growing issues with it. And then at that point, one of the other members will speak of Kalen, the guy with a whiter beard, but he's not as old as Arthur. He's kind of got a cloak wrapped around his shoulders. He speaks up and says, a fight that we no longer can afford to be engaged in much longer. I'm afraid to again put that point forward again, Merida. And she nods, or she doesn't nod. She just looks at him and just kind of momentarily, like just acknowledging his statement. Doesn't nod or do anything else in a kind of reply, but just acknowledges the statement and kind of goes back to the conversation, continue the conversation. Says, just kind of going on. Says, yeah, things are. I think the issues are kind of getting larger than we've led on to the northern or to the western kingdoms, trying to keep them worrying about issues that they can't solve for us or help us with anyways at the moment. And we had some issues trying to recover since February. So it's been a while since we've felt an even match with our enemy, but we keep learning more things. What to do with this new information, we don't know what, but she'll then kind of look at you all. Can I hope that you've come to Kalos to potentially aid us in this with this current issue and problem? She goes and just reference to the war and the effort of the war.
Unfortunately.
Oh, go ahead.
Unfortunately, I would absolutely love to stay and help, but unfortunately it's not my decision alone, and I believe we already had plans to try and get another one of these objects that will help stop this whole thing. But as Uncle Hubert said, if there's no word to save, then what's the point in saving it?
Your father standing right next to you, or the closest one standing next to you, Lorna will kind of look at you and say, "It's not fair for family that this is all family, and supposed to be think, and that should not come into the equation at all. So I really can't give you my biased advice, but um, yeah, your father just kind of looks at you. It's like, personally, I'd like to send you in the opposite direction and tell you to get as far away from here as possible. And keep going, doing what you're doing. But I would be also, it would be unfair for me to, want something above or for myself. And that is, I want to find your brother.
I know.
And these kind of, you'll see as this exchange in a word between Merida, your father, and even your uncle's presence. Go ahead and do insight check, Lorna.
Okay.
And this is where you kind of see you'll kind of start getting a clearer understanding of Kaylin and Ruben and Arthur's kind of body language. Ruben definitely being the more visible in his kind of disagreement with what's kind of being said. He kind of sees clearly that he's frustrated that the Queen is not enforcing or like kind of commanding you the same or commanding you to do what she wants you to do instead of she's asking you. And eventually you'll kind of see him not be able to kind of contain his hold his tongue, if you will, and you'll see him kind of eventually speak up and say, if this was any other soldier or member of one of the clans, she would be commanded to join the front lines immediately or to follow her queen's orders. And Merida, go ahead.
This was one of the non-family members?
Correct. This is Ruben Dingwall. He's the one with the red hair. He's got the reddish background.
Well, Ruben, nice to see you again. But you see, I don't mean to sound cocky, but we have literally been chosen by, yes, it does sound like a Dingwall. We have literally been chosen by Merlin himself to defend this world and stop the evil from going about and having its way with the world. So, I think we get a fair pass on this. As much as I would if I were back home by myself and not have a team working with me. But I would join the war effort.
Dingwall will then kind of mutter back under his breath, just kind of, or not under his breath. He kind of says it loud, but it's not as robust and as his first out statement. This one's a little bit more tamed, and he goes, "I wish believe me, I know you know ill will, Lorna, or your family." But he kind of looks back at the Queen and says, "We are, the Dingwall clan, or the other clans have all kind of contributed so many men to this effort to go fight outside these lands, and many have not come back." And he will go on to say, "I understand that the Dunbrook clan has sacrificed more, or even more than the other clans combined in their efforts to kind of thwart this kind of growing issue in the east and the west. But it's been a long time since I felt like the evil was on the losing end of anything. So pardon me where I don't feel like I'm seeing a huge difference in our world."
Oh, I get it.
Even
absolutely, which is why we require a little bit of help. Which is why we came here, because it's the closest location to getting another item.
Merida's kind of eyebrows rise a little bit at that comment. And she'll kind of speak up too after that as well, and and this one's more directed towards Ruben. She goes, Lorna is not a Lorna is on her own mission and her own following orders I've given her directly, royal orders that are not to be questioned or to be kind of scrutinized. If you have any disagreements with the orders I've given her, then we can discuss those in a different manner, in a different place. Ruben does say it respectfully, or does seem to be respectful in her in what Meredith says. And you know what? Go ahead and give me another insight check, Lorna.
Can I insight this fool too?
Absolutely, go for it.
Can I as well?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyone that's listening and would like to kind of size this guy's up, Steven.
Nope. I'm
Okay.
paying attention to a 6-year-old, so.
Anika, you will notice that you hear genuine. You could tell that Ruben's words are genuine when he says that he's happy that nothing has happened to Lorna, and that she's made it back safely. He does truly wish her no ill will, but he is very much so frustrated with the unfair treatment between her and the rest of the clan's kind of contributions to the war. So he will, Merida kind of looks back at you and says, you know, after the loss in February, and the losses we've been facing the last few months here in the East, I'm afraid I may not have a whole lot to offer in assistance, but I will do what I can to help you on this this goal. This is this quest this mission that you're on. If Merlin himself has put it upon you or placed it upon at your feet, then I must kind of support or I have to recognize Merlin's vision is above my own and hope that he has a plan for all this.
Do you?
We'll do our best to hold the line until aid can be sent, I guess. She's trying to sound she's in a very hard situation. She's trying to encourage you to follow or to do what you think is the right decision, but she also doesn't seem very convincing. It seems like her words aren't very convincing that it won't be impactful for the Northern Kingdoms.
All that I can say now is that if we find this item before the Forgotten find it, it'll be one less place that they look. They'll have known, they probably know that we already got another one, and if we get this one before, it'll stop them from, hopefully, I can't guarantee it, but hopefully coming this way again. Now,
Mary. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We have done much, not for this war. We have not done much for this war, unfortunately. We were in a place where we didn't know the time. If we had known how big of an impact it would have had, we would have come back sooner, and I would have fought tooth and nail in this war. But we have been fighting over in the Western kingdoms as much as we can. So, I do believe going to get this object is probably the best course of action. And she kind of looks to the group like, yes, back me up on this, question mark? The help?
No.
Meredith
Right.
actually asked to see, do you have, or because you said you've collected these objects, she'll ask to see maybe if you have any of the, or to see what one of these objects that you've been collecting?
I kind of look around the room, assessing each
If
person there.
you don't say anything, Anika's just going to step forward with the book.
Yeah.
No, she'll kind of put her hand back, like, no, don't reveal what you got. But she'll.
Can I
Hmm?
at least have a point to make before we show and tell?
Sorry, what did you say?
She's gonna, under her breath, like, I do have a point to make to help you if you want.
By all means, yep.
So she'll step forward in her itty bitty self and look at whoever the one that likes Lorna but is kind of upset she hasn't been here, who's been talking. Yeah. It's understandable to want as many warriors as you need as you can on the front. However, when you have people who have let's go with special abilities, and are absolutely going to draw as much as the enemy as possible, I don't think you want us in your front. If anything, you want us in the opposite direction. That way they split up. They're going to come after, particularly if we get another use. You're already losing a lot. You don't need us there to make you lose more.
And keep their focus on us, and they'll be divided.
And while they're focused on us, you can do everything you need to.
And I guarantee you, a few of them absolutely hate us for some of the things we've done to them.
And then look up to Lorna like, yeah.
The others will kind of ponder the words you've spoken, and Hamish will be probably the first one to or kind of respond to those kind of words and say, "That does make a bit of sense, but I think the concern of those and everyone here in this at this table, including yourselves, is that these creatures, these beings that are leading them, they what kind of guarantee can you offer for them to focus, or that they'll come after you instead of continuing to tear their ranks apart?"
In the middle, while he's speaking, Lorna moves forward and starts undoing her bracers and converts it into a key and places it on the table.
The easiest way to answer that question is once we find it, we just have to let them know. I know you've just met most of us, but we're very good at being noticed when we want to be.
And sometimes even when we don't want to be.
Yeah, we're working on that part.
Yeah, we are.
We're working on it.
As you do that, Lauren, it kind of returns to this key form. You're gonna see a couple of the faces kind of react to it being presented for and different reactions from each one at the table, but you will hear kind of come from mutter from the lips of Ruben. I keep forgetting his last name. This is the Dingwall, right? Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah.
You hear Ruben Dingwall. You'll kind of hear him. He goes and just kind of whisper, "It looks like exactly. It looks like it's a key, just like she has." As he kind of gestures towards it. Upon saying that, Kaylin and then kind of their kind of brows kind of come together and kind of concern, and they share the same sentiment that this looks kind of familiar.
I'm sorry. Who's she?
She is the one who attacked the war. The red tiefling who, pretty sure is one of the Forgotten and one of the up and ups, like Quill.
Ah.
Tiefling demon is what we've been calling her, but she appears out of the Feywild with several of the creatures from the Thornwood, and constantly is making attacks on us, pushing our line back and back. She doesn't seem to fear for herself, nor does she care too much for the lives she seems to be that are lost in her efforts. But
No, that's
yeah,
a typical forgotten. So, yeah,
yeah,
They can always make more.
she's the one who took Rory, right? Or we don't even know where Rory is.
who's that? I'm sorry.
The brother.
Brother.
Hamish kind of gets sad, or not gets sad, but he kind of just he just kind of swallows when you say Roy's name, but he collects himself and says, "Roy took a squad, or took a couple men into the Thorn Forest to kind of learn more about the rumors that keep kind of coming. Uh, and then he'll kind of he'll just share with the immediate group, and says Rory was trying to learn more about Reed and his new and something that Reed had been caught referring to in the past as the Brood Mother, and he was supposed to go find out who and what that meant. And then and that's when we last heard from your brother."
Okay. I mean,
Been
I'm
able
pretty
to
sure the group can see, like, Lorna is torn between finding her brother and going after this key, but, like, I think ultimately the group knows that she needs to go after the key. So.
I mean, Merida could see that there is some kind of reservation, and above table, she would offer you the ability to discuss as a group in private if you guys were to make such a request. Um, but she is not going to question your answer that you've already spoken. So
Yeah.
she's not gonna offer that unless you guys kind of speak up that you would like some time to discuss amongst yourselves. Actually, do a quick pause, because
Yeah.
Cronus and Josel, is there anything that you guys would like to add to this conversation so far, or what's being said, or is there something that you guys would like to maybe add to this conversation, or
I think we should do a party huddle and discuss our next course of action because I did not know the tiefling had a key because that could change things.
That is true.
And what color was the key the tiefling had?
It was,
so you know that a yellow, a blue, a green, and a purple key has been found in addition to the key colors that you have found.
and I think,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry, man.
I
Go
think
ahead.
Hubert said that it was yellow around her neck, right?
Correct. This one,
Yeah.
Reed has been rumored to have a yellow key around her neck.
Yeah. So the one that we just got.
And if you need the lore stuff before, I could also share who was given what keys, the first 6 followers of Merlin. So the ones assigned to the Dark Disciples.
Sure.
So the question is, which key would be closer, the tiefling or the Arctic?
The tiefling, technically.
Yeah,
Tiefling's
because
closer, but that one might be more dangerous to grab.
I think both of them are going to be dangerous.
yeah,
I don't have them right in front of me. I thought I did. Oh, so Reed was yellow, Quill was purple. Let me see here. Papyrus was green, Nidell was white, Sivius was blue.
okay. So
And if you want, I can go ahead. You want me to move you to the world map just so it's a little bit easier too
Yeah.
as we talk about that? There.
Okay, so this is where the thorn forest is.
Correct. Mm-hmm. It's growing across the eastern marshes now. So that was where the vault was. It's not saying, but yeah. So it's
Okay.
starting to grow across the marshes towards the kingdom of Dresdos in the country of Faywin.
Okay. But that's no guarantee that she is there. Is the
We could
problem.
go there. We could go there, and they're at another vault, grabbing another key.
Well, I mean, just the rumors that they have shared. That's the only thing they've. So yeah, no more. I guess you could always ask or look into that.
They might have a camp somewhere, like a fortress, something.
Yeah.
Because if Lorna's brother is taken the prisoner, they're not just going to move prisoners all the time. They're going to want
No.
to keep them stationary. So if that's the
Typically,
case, then they'll have like a base of operation.
You would have got the impression from the others that they assume that he is within the Thorn Forest because of this rumored brood mother and whatever that may or may not mean.
Okay, so if they're in the forest, then we can do 2 birds with 1 stone. Get that second key, get that second yellow key, and save my brother potentially.
Real quick, Abe, do you guys want to says you want to ask for a break from or like some private time for you guys to discuss as a group, and then Merida and you all could group up again maybe tomorrow or later on?
I
I
do
think-
think it would be best for us to discuss before we make any decisions.
Yeah,
that way
we'll
we
take a
can
break.
Think it out.
They all seem very happy at this idea, but Hamish and Merida are the only ones that kind of they're of course they're happy that you're staying here, but they're just kind of worried that they just want to make sure that you're doing what is right for you guys. Though they seem like to be the only 2 people in the room that was in your corner for whatever you think was the best call to make. So you guys are kind of let out of the room, and you guys can either find private quarters here, or you could go, rent rooms at the inn, or stay with family.
While we're discussing, Lorna doesn't give a shit. She's gonna bring them up to her old bedroom.
So you're going to go to the McKinley side of this estate, if you will.
Yes.
And you will take them up to your room where you'll see a lot of the same decorations still there from when you last left it. You'll have like a bear rug kind of laying across the ground. This thing that you swore to the group before was at least 15 feet tall. Now looking at closer to 10.
Yeah.
Your familiar sheets and stuff that are kind of reflective of the Dumbrook colors. Yeah.
A
Is there anything
portrait of like a boy bard band.
right on the ceiling? It's got it's glued to the ceiling. Yes. It is yeah, it is quite a sight to be seen.
Did we pass a portrait of her family?
Oh, probably.
You will definitely see family portraits along the hallway towards her room or towards her room, basically in this McKinley side of the wing of this location. Let me go ahead and see if I can just pull.
Should I just post the family tree?
Yes, that's what I was actually just gonna go grab.
Will do that right now.
Because there's a lot of great portraits already in there, but I will move, if you're okay with it, Meg, I'm going to move all these portraits into the compendium folder so that everyone can kind of see the higher res versions.
For sure.
So which of the sisters did I accidentally disguise myself as in Espa?
What?
Remember when we went to spy on that little girl's family that we helped rescue? While they were going around doing sneaky stuff for Josel, I disguised myself as a younger version of you.
It was probably literally just a younger version of me, because The only one that would look similarly would be Flora, but she no. Ow, my knee. Fuck.
Don't do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
they're
I
all
moved.
they're all in the compendium folder now under characters under Galos. So the full ones. Let me do link save image as. And I just saved a copy of that folder too. All right. So yeah, you'll pass some artwork along the way. Lorna, would you still have any kind of portrait or anything of Alexander of yours in the room, or would he have had anything? Because I think you guys were.
Yeah. No, I think they would have probably commemorated the official marriage with a portrait or something.
Okay.
So yeah, there's probably a portrait of Lorna and Alexander there.
Okay. Anyone on your family tree that's not kind of wouldn't be in your room or along the way? Only thing I could think of is maybe Aliana. Isn't that your? Oh, she's not on this picture, so never mind.
No, remember we changed her to Flora?
Oh, shoot. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if I updated my notes for that, but yeah.
That's okay. No, I think it probably might be Davina. She's probably less likely to want to get a portrait.
Okay.
And
but
Mary, but she probably sat through it begrudgingly.
Yeah, at some age, they probably all sat through one at some point or another.
Mm-hmm.
But how accurate to their current look is questionable.
Yes.
Is there anything anyone is looking for along the way in addition to portraits to Lorna's room? What about you, Cronus or Josel?
I mean, I'm going to assume having the 6-year-old toddler running around is going to keep me occupied.
So yeah, Amra is just really being observant, and I will say that while they are talking, Ambra's asking you all sorts of just questions that children ask. Just everything about what's that I can think of.
Who's that other man with Mom?
Who is that? Yeah. Is that my real daddy? No. Sorry. Joseph, did you want to do or look for anything or anything special as you guys make it to Lorna's room?
No, he just wants to go over game plan.
Okay. I think John say anything else from you guys besides the portraits?
I'm just looking at everything. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay. All right. So you, besides the portraits and stuff, I mean, you will see some other things like different banners and decorations like I've described before. But again, more of the Dumbrook imagery here. Go ahead and what you also see along the way is you'll see some kind of imagery of a very, very large bear that was that was killed by Merida at a much younger age. You'll see artwork like that through these halls, and eventually you make it through. You make it to Lorna's old room where we just described all the other decorations. You guys have this room to yourselves. What would you all like to do?
Before we do anything, what is it with all the bears you people kill?
I mean, they really run rampant around the forests, and yeah, we try and keep them away from the city, but sometimes they wander in and then they start getting aggressive, and yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, we do try and usher them out without killing them, but typically doesn't work that way.
Okay. So, game plan?
Yeah, what's our best course of action? We do know there's one to the north, but we'll need a ship there. Feywind with that woods encroaching. There's no guarantee that tiefling with the key is going to be there.
They did say she's popping in and out of the Feywild, correct?
Probably got the key from the Feywild.
I happen to know somebody who's in the Feywild.
Oh.
I don't know if it's the same part, but do you remember when I scryed on my mother that long ago? And outside there was bread flying? Pretty sure that might be in the Feywild.
Well, let's not go to the Feywild again, because last time that happened, we're now late. So let's chill out with the Feywild for a bit.
Yeah, unless we have a
no. I meant I could ask. If she knows anything. We can go later. Or I'm going to go later, but
all right. I mean, we don't know how many exactly have been taken prisoner there, but just so you said they could have a fortress there that
probably
could be worth going after.
It's hard to move that many prisoners.
And most likely the tiefling won't be there, because she seems to be the head honcho. You got to have a leader to run a fortress. So there's a good chance she'll be there. And if she's there, then so is the key.
Mm-hmm. Other thing. I know we want to go after the tiefling. I know we want to get your brother. Are we sure we want to get another key we already have?
Yeah, we don't know what it's going to do if we have two.
We sort of do.
Do we?
In a kind of
light and dark.
Not in specifics, but we know that's how they're meant to function. And remember how I said we're really good at putting targets on our back? That's gonna make us bigger.
That would be a big target on us.
Isn't that the goal?
Also, in hindsight, though, we already are big targets.
That's fair.
Not to mention, if we take a key from them, that's one less key that they have.
Yeah, that's true.
My concern is once we get the key, how do we get out? Because chances are it's going to be easier to get in than getting out.
I might have a way out of there, but
yeah, because I don't. What's your way out?
Okay, I'll need a minute to do the spell, so you guys are gonna have to keep me safe for a full minute. But I could teleport us out there. I got 3 locations that I know of. I can get us to.
Does that work when we're in a different plane?
Unfortunately, no. If we're on another plane, it doesn't work. But if we're on this plane, it will.
I do. We know she's portaling in and out, right?
I feel like I might need to clarify one thing about the Feywild Forest, Denise. I'm kind of treating that very similarly to the Feywild Forest that you traveled through in the Western Kingdoms when you were going towards trying to find the Pixie Hollow and stuff. So
it's not actually the Feywild.
It's home to Fey creatures. It's the Feywild blend. It's basically the material plane that's completely been altered by a long presence of Feywild like creatures and magic. But it's still the material plane. But it's
so it's not Neverland Feywild.
Creatures. Correct.
Yeah. So no time is going to pass. We're in the same world.
You're still in the material plane, similar to the Western plane. And the only reason I'm giving you that information is that you guys did do research on the Feywild extensively before, that you guys kind of know.
Which means I could get us out of there quickly. but I only know 3 locations. If I could learn a few more, that might give us options of where to go. I can get us to Glimmerdeer, Neptune, and Atlantis. The last 2 I don't feel like going back to.
Can you learn a circle in this for this general area so we can once we get done with the that key, we can immediately go to the Arctic?
If I can learn a sequence, I should be able to. I'll need to study for about a minute. But I don't know where one would be over here.
I'm pretty sure the queen might if we ask nicely.
I mean...
Oh, also, careful of that one guy who talked a lot. I mean, he's glad you're not dead and everything, but he really doesn't like your status with Merida.
Oh, no. We've always had a rough going on, but I'm not worried about him.
I have one idea. My sister Lay, she's in Glimmerdeer. Maybe Doc knows a lot more circles than I do. Maybe he can write some that I can study onto the golden sheet of paper quickly. I mean, I don't know if I could learn them that way, but it's an option.
Sure.
Wouldn't it be better if we had permission?
In some situations, better ask forgiveness.
Better ask forgiveness than ask permission times like that.
And you guys wonder why people think that we're chaotic?
No, I know why they think we're chaotic.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Because we are.
Yeah. And I'd like to point out it's not just me and Faye.
I think we should ask the queen for any possible circles. And if there's none, then sure, we'll go with the whole magic paper bit.
Yeah, of course,
try the simpler solution first.
Yeah, just ask the queen if she knows of one, or if I could have access to one. But if that doesn't work, Doc might be our best bet.
Also, this is off topic from that, but still on topic for the decision-making thing. Do you remember when Faye, you two got the forgotten marks off of some people a long time ago?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We haven't tried it since we had 4. We haven't tried it since we had 3.
We haven't really ran across any. Not since the forest before we got to Sunos.
And if we do end up going into a Feywild forest that has a bunch of them, it might not be a bad idea to attempt it. Perhaps not while we're behind enemy lines.
No. But yeah, if we
maybe
stumble
see
across
if there's any
one,
captured or whatnot.
Yeah. We should figure out what we can do together now, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a chance they could be branding some of the prisoners.
Again, that's still behind enemy lines. But if we can free some while there's a battle in the middle, it's a lot harder to keep ranks when people inside are attacking you. Right? I look at Josel, who's the military guy.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
If we can free some of the forgotten soldiers from the forgotten influence, it's a lot harder to keep ranks when people inside are attacking ranks, right?
Yeah, but isn't there a toll whenever we free people of the mark?
There was when there was 2. I don't know how 4 would be a difference, but it's
kind of a
thing we should look out.
It's a pretty big gamble to do it behind enemy lines.
That's why we should experiment not behind enemy.
Do you know anyone with a mark?
No, but we haven't been on the front lines yet, have we?
We're gonna have to capture someone to try it.
Yep. Or see if there's any captured. There's always an off chance there might be.
Hey, Red, do your family keep prisoners?
I did say off chance.
You know, I haven't been here in a bit. They might. Typically not.
Besides, We do have to pass through my home before we get to Baywin.
Oh, that is true.
We're likely to keep prisoners.
Oh. Very true. I mean,
also, there's a really big library.
I wasn't really referring to the fact that they have prisoners here. I was referring to the fact, do their soldiers practice capturing enemy, or they just execute them?
Being partly in the military myself, would I know what my not town,
Sorry,
city?
I kind of missed the question. Well, I can. What was it? Was whose military is more prone to do what?
Does Galos practice like capturing enemies, or is it just a slaughter?
Depends on the enemy.
Like
What enemies are you specifically asking about?
turncoats.
Oh, like over in the marshes and stuff, like where they're at currently, or are you talking about like?
Yeah, like maybe
Local.
ally soldiers going into battle, then they all of a sudden they turn against them with the mark. Would they would they like capture them, or are they going to just straight up kill them like they're the enemy?
Galus would probably I would imagine not take turncoats back willingly. No, they wouldn't have a place to return now. They would capture some prisoners that maybe have surrendered. But if they're like,
If they have,
and
if they have marks, they're not going to surrender.
No, they wouldn't.
I feel like it's very situational as well.
Yeah, I can't say that they would rule one way or the other. I would say that Galos definitely has a more prideful country. Again, they may not be as large as some of these other kingdoms that are built huge, massive kingdoms that kind of mass thousands of men. They're small but very, very mighty. And their size doesn't kind of, so they're kind of I won't say ferocious as like the Vikel, but they are definitely
Equally
a very
as
warrior
strong.
spirit.
Yeah, strong-willed.
Yeah, they're.
What about to gain information? Like, will they capture enemy to gain intel?
Oh, sure. They're very intelligent. Yeah, definitely. The Vikel Island would probably be less apt to do as much interrogation investigation. Not that they're completely, it's never happens, but I would say that Galus is probably more military and has more of a strategic eye.
All right, so there's a good chance, or there's a fair chance that we could get a prisoner, and if they have a mark, we could try it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can go and ask her that if we want.
We might. I mean, if you want a loan, yeah, but let's do it together.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're deciding to go to Faywin and do this, yeah, we can definitely go. So is that kind of what we're deciding? Going to the forest, and if we can get a teleportation circle?
If this is a vote, I think I'm going to abstain because I'd be the one with 2 keys.
Okay.
I'm fine either way.
Cronus?
Mm-hmm.
Which way are you going?
This isn't a yes or no question.
To the north, or?
I feel like taking out one of their so-called generals would be a better option.
That is true as well. Faye?
I'm all for taking out one of their generals. And getting another key that matches one of the ones we have, it does give us a excellent chance to see what happens. It's when the two are united.
You do have to remember that we were warned that when they're together, they're extremely more powerful.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, I think that was why one of them. Well, wait. First ones who did it were the first ones, including Quill and whatnot. And that kind of drove them insane. Or they still lost.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not voting.
So,
and there is a possibility that in their fortress, it might not be her. There might be one of the other keys they've gathered as well.
Let's not bank on that.
I mean, also, just because we have both pieces of one key doesn't mean we have to use it.
True, but also why not?
I mean, your sanity is probably a good reason of why not.
More interested in getting the key away from them.
And I remember back before we met the Pirate Council, when we talked to the spirits we had back then, they said having both part the keys, the spirits would be more complete. They'd be better able to, I guess, give us information. And Talos did seem to know a lot, so having him fully back together might be beneficial to us.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
was just going to talk about Talos. So, Joseph, what's your vote?
Yeah.
I want to go take out the general, then Banff back here.
Okay.
All right then.
Banff back where?
Back where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So we need
get a teleportation circle here, if there's one available.
Out of character, are you able to create teleportation circles? Walls?
It
takes a long time.
It takes a long time.
It takes a full year.
Okay,
you have to
so
constantly do it every day for a year.
Okay, so no. Short answer, no.
So, your character Lorna is not familiar with any teleportation circles.
No, so we were going to go and ask Merida if she knew of one, or if she could direct us to somebody who knew of one.
Yeah. And if we can't...
A teleportation circle close to here. So then we could get back from the forest pretty quick.
Okay. So that's on your to-do list. All right. What else did you guys talked about a lot? I was trying to take notes, but I fell apart.
No worries.
Oh.
Yeah, we were throwing a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
Teleportation circle, that was it.
Teleportation circle. Second, see if there's a prisoner with the forgotten symbol on his chest, or their chest. Either here or in Franzan on the way.
I would imagine they'll have it like at the front lines, like at maybe an allied base. They might have a couple of prisoners, maybe.
Yeah, which would be closer to Franzan since it's right bordering the forest. And then cause chaos, wreak havoc, do our thing.
Do what we always do.
Okay.
Except hopefully better.
So what do you guys want to do here at Galos then? Like right now it's about evening time after introductions. You guys have so far you guys have planned about 3 days of downtime here just to kind of get things crafted and made for you. I guess, is there anything you want to do tonight? And then maybe we can work on like a list of things you want to do over the next 3 days, and we can kind of do a skip forward montage, if you will. Or is there something else that you guys to do?
I know tomorrow I got to spend 5 hours making holy water for Josel.
Okay.
Maybe we can find something to get rid of a certain curse from a certain breadhead that made a deal with a hag.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of my sisters can help with that. It's fine.
I have removed curse. You never asked me to try it.
You are wearing a necklace of non-detection.
You have a remove curse spell and you've never tried it on me?
I did when you got inflicted with lycanthropy.
Yeah, that was before all this shit. Do you have it ready?
Always.
Oh my god, please.
Hang on. You've had this since Atlantis and didn't say anything.
Are you Faye?
You guys never brought it up.
Said that this one is a high DC to pass or it has a DC to be successful or not because of the of house.
I would be casting it at 5th level. Would that help at all?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and let's do this. Let me recall what the DC is real quick. And what's your spellcasting or what's your? How would that be fair? How do we want to do it? Like, I almost like a spell attack, I guess, against like the DC of the spell, maybe?
Or would it be like counterspell?
Yeah, it could just be a check, like, based on your spellcasting modifier. Like, if you're charisma based, you roll a charisma check.
Okay.
Well,
with proficiency.
Kind of different, but not 100% because they have a piece of you which like affects the like for example like the spell like Shrine has like a huge benefit. If they have a piece of you, it's like it's very hard for them.
It makes the DC harder.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I think this one would probably so how does it play this out with a DC? Okay. If your target knows your casting spell can fail the saving throw voluntarily if it wants to be observed. Wisdom saving, which is modified by how well you know the target. So what does it start at then?
I mean, if it's Scry, it's a 5th level spell, but then they got a piece of her.
But I'm saying, like here, it says like this spell is that if you have a body part, lock of hair, it's a -10 to the DC. But I'm trying to figure out what's the DC initially? Is it just your spell casting ability?
It is.
So if it's Scry, yeah.
Okay. All right. So
before I do anything, I'm going to give Emboldening Bond to add a D4 to my check. And I'll also, since this will technically be a ability check, I'm going to give myself a guidance. That'll give me a bonus 2D4 to this.
Anika's also going to say, don't fuck this up, and give you Bardic Inspiration.
Okay, so
the spell that you're casting, is that an ability? We're only doing affecting the DC because we're only doing this because there's not really a rules that's written for remove curse. It just works in D&D, but we don't do that. So
yeah, it's I'm just treating it like counterspell where it is a ability check.
So with counterspell is, let me read the rules of counterspell again.
I think it'd be more like dispel magic,
which is also an ability check.
Yeah, the same thing.
So it'd be your spell casting ability check.
You double check. Because equals does all spell. So it's not that then. We're not doing that DC.
It'd be DC 19 or 20 since I got a piece of.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's go ahead and just do a when you roll a counterspell, what are you rolling at? What ability are you rolling for?
Charisma.
Yeah, it's your spell casting ability.
Is there a proficiency bonus on top of that?
Or?
No. Basically, the only bonuses I'm getting on this is my Emboldening Bonds. So I have that active, guidance, and the inspiration. That's the only bonuses I'm getting added to this.
Okay, go ahead and let me see this. Who's which? All right, yeah, let's go with the so go ahead and roll a d20 and add your charisma modifier for your spellcasting ability.
All right,
DC 20.
I'm just gonna hit the button I prepared for counterspell.
Oh, okay. You try to remove the spell. This you can tell this like attachment to Lorna's being.
Is that Bardic Inspiration?
Yeah, I rolled.
It's all
really
in
low.
there.
I can try again. I got one more spell slot, and then we could try again after a short rest. Because the golden bond's gonna be up for 10 minutes. I can do one more shot.
So let's tell what well, yeah, go ahead, and if you want to try that again real quick. I'm trying to figure out what else you guys wanted to do this week, though. Go ahead and cast that if you want to, Faye.
Right.
What about you, Josel and Cronus? What do you guys want to do over the next few days?
Yes. Jesus.
Thank
I think that might be somewhat effective.
I can take this damn necklace off.
We can now spy on the hag.
Yeah.
You now see the hag.
Oh my god.
I will learn scrying next level.
All right. You seem like a weight has been lifted, though it's hard to just place your finger exactly to tell if how effective it was. But you feel something differently inside of you, when like a weight's off your shoulders.
Oh, good.
Anything else that you guys wanted to do tonight before, or where did you guys want to? I mean, Lorna could definitely find rooms for all of you, and her family is a kind of wing of this palace.
Not tonight, but the days that we're waiting till all of our stuff is done, I would like to continue my physical training, and
yes,
I would like to train, if it is allowed. I would like to borrow Lorna's sword and train with a great sword, if she allows.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm afraid I don't get my fingerprints on it.
I mean, it's her dead husband's sword. She will take a few hours with you and be there and train with you, and yes, you can use her sword.
Ooh, okay. So Lorna and Joseph plan on training at some point. Okay.
Feels really weird.
It'll be fine. You'll get used to the weight.
I'm not used to swinging with two hands. It feels off.
I know. No, so you need to hold it like this and kind of like lower your stance a little bit and kind of like bring it more to your hip than anything else. Yeah. As for like the first night, yeah, I don't think we're talking to Merida again tonight. Like, we'll talk to her in the morning real quick. Let her know the plan. But tonight, Lorna is definitely gonna go see her mom and her family and just like be like, here's some rooms, you guys have fun, enjoy the castle, don't get into any trouble, please. I'm gonna go see my family.
Where's the best spot to see the moon?
Do you want the fun or dangerous place or the cool place, or
is it dangerous because of bears?
Yeah.
The place I can do my prayers safely?
Probably out in the courtyard.
Okay.
Yeah, she spends that night with her family. She's a wee bit homesick, so, you know.
I'm sorry, you're spending the night where, Lorna, the first night?
With her family.
So in this wing of the castle?
Oh, yeah, no, she's going to hang out with her mom and hang out with her sisters and just talk their ear off.
Okay. Let me come back to that one. So you're going to hang out with mom and sisters first night. Okay, you're not going to ask about teleportation circles tonight. That's going to be sometime between now and before you guys leave. When did you want to talk to Merida about your plans?
The next morning.
All right.
Like, she'll probably let Merida know, like, we have a plan, but it's late. We'll just talk in the morning.
Okay, let's just go ahead and wrap up this evening first. We got a lot of good stuff on here. I'm just trying to keep track of when it all happened. So Joseph and Lorna's training with the Great Sword will probably not happen this day then, or this evening. Is there anything that anyone wants to do this evening? You already took care of the curse thing before everyone kind of, I guess, like, let me start with you, for, I guess, Kronos. Anything especially you want to do tonight with Umbra besides just kind of bonding with each other? Is there something that you'd like to ask or talk to him about, or
I guess this, like, try to do some form of an exercise with them.
okay,
to help wind them down.
okay, you want to do some kind of like discipline, like some kind of training with them, almost, if you will, like
Yeah,
something like meditation or something monk like, or
like very light, not sparring, but kind of just show them the ropes, I guess.
just forms. You're just showing forms. You're not sparring. You're just showing them basic, forms and posture and just kind of. But you're doing it's yeah. It's nothing to break a sweat. It's literally just kind of. It's almost like stretching your muscles and just kind of relaxing before going to sleep. Okay. Uh. Josel, is there anything you want to do? Are you going to get your own room in this wing of the place as well? Is there anything you'd like to do tonight before going to sleep?
Not really. He'll just have his own room and just sleep and wake up early in the morning like usual.
Okay. Anika and Faye, anything else before heading off to sleep?
I'm just probably gonna walk around and get the lay of the land and how people are feeling.
Okay. So you're gonna hang out in the main hall a little bit longer to see if there's any kind of rumors or things you're hearing about.
Yep. Talk to some of the servers maybe, because who else hears servers?
Sure. Okay. Let me see. Faye, you basically were working on the curse with Lorna, but is there anything after that you'd like to work on?
Well, that's already done. That only takes 6 seconds, or technically 12 seconds of that. So besides that, Faye would wait for nightfall to go do her prayers out in the courtyard. Probably check the golden sheet of paper, see if her mother or Lay has gotten back to her. And then probably just spend time with Anika, listening into what they can learn about what's been going on, and just overall chat with Anika.
Okay. All right. So, let me go ahead and take you guys into secrets while everyone else kind of winds down, and I will go take you each into kind of secrets, kind of pass things along, and then we'll skip to tomorrow where you guys are going to meet with Merida to kind of talk to her about your plans over the next few days and some of your next questions. So, let me see. Let's start with Anika real quick.
Do you want to bring my thing into there so it's on stream?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just let me know when I'm needed.
All right, Anika, go ahead and roll. Do you have like an ability? There's an ability, isn't there, for like bards to kind of scrounge up information? Is that under just what's that ability? Would that be? I guess
that might be a certain type of bard, but not particularly.
Okay. Let's do let's just do let's do an investigation, because you're clearly perceptive, and you can you can eavesdrop. Being little, you can get close to conversations. I feel like you have a pretty broad range or license to audiences that are happening in the middle of this room. So that's a pretty good investigation. It takes you, a little bit kind of going around. Not a lot of people paying a lot of attention to you. You're not sure if it's because of your size or it's getting later in the evening and the drinks are becoming a little bit more liberal. Um,
I also probably, if I tried hard enough, look like half of these people's kids. So with red hair.
You will notice the something as well as you kind of moved around the room. There is one table that's completely empty with nothing but candles set at every spot for it. There are other tables. The room is filling up a little bit more than earlier in the day than you're here, but it still seems like it's there's large audience is not there. You'll start hearing some of the River Mill reporting that different kind of like various different creatures that and rumors from the eastern coming from the eastern front. You're going to hear about these massive kind of treants coming out, throwing rocks and swinging massive clubs of thorn. You know, larger than any treant that you've seen. And you've seen treants firsthand, so these things are obviously being blown out of proportion in size. At least one hopes. You also will hear about that's a large amount of the rumor that you're going to hear is that that's the front lines being attacked and slowly getting dwindled down. They're kind of Franzan is talking about you'll hear some rumors about Franzan kind of pulling back and falling back to their country's kind of line. Kind of nervous that the line's not going to be held too much longer at the edge of the marshes. And another big one, you're going, let's see here. You're going to hear more about that same tiefling Reed, just kind of how she's been rumored to kind of take out rows of armies just in a fell sweep. Larger in life kind of acts of performances on the battlefield against the troops. And I think that's a good amount from there. I will say that you also did hear some interesting words from an older man discussing with some younger men at one of the tables, that they were kind of discussing, you'll hear the word broodmother will catch your ears briefly when you're in the room. And the old man will talk about how uh you know in history, in old stories of the great, dragon wars and stuff, he says there was rumored, there was a brood mother that gave um birth to the ancient hordes of dragons. And it'll kind of go over on this like crazy lore that it sounds like just babbling nonsense from an old man, but the guys seem to laugh at his storytelling and kind of take amusement in his his make believe, as they say and see it. And yeah, that's about that'll probably be about the thing that you heard. Is there anything you'd like to do as you are walking around this room, or you encounter any of these incidents?
Yeah, the old man who mentioned the brood mother. How crazy and like not with it does he look?
Go ahead and do an insight check.
Cool.
He's clearly drunk, but yeah, he's clearly drunk, so it's hard to kind of get a good read on him, on how credible his words are right now.
Okay. Does he wear colors of any of the families?
I'm sorry. Does he what?
Does he wear the colors of any of the families?
You will see that he has the colors of the Dunbrook clan. He's not necessarily part of, but he's part of the Dunbrook clan. He's someone that lives there in that city.
Okay. How drunk?
He's still kind of going on or talking about it. He's kind of doesn't have a whole. Is the details are kind of he doesn't have like exact details of the story, but he's just kind of telling it from reference. Like he remembers when he was a young boy, he heard the story about the where the ancient dragons came from, and that's kind of how he's telling it to this group of men now.
Okay, but he's around a lot of people, so I'll
Yep.
just make note of him and then try and find him if he's not drunk later.
Sure. Another noticeable features on him is that he has lots of rings on his hands. So he's not like some nobody. He obviously he has some kind of wealth, so he's not just some homeless guy off the street battling nonsense, but he's clearly imbibed and enjoying himself at the moment.
Yeah. So I'll just wait. But before I go to bed, I'm going to. Oh wait, I haven't studied my book yet because this is the same day we left Neverland, right?
You are correct. This is the night that you wove, so it's the night. So you could always read it in the morning, right?
Yeah, that's my plan. But I need to read it to get sending, so I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go move you back up, and then I'm gonna grab. Who else had done something? It was Howard, right? No, it was Cronus.
Mm-hmm. And Lorna.
And Lorna. Okay. I'll move you right back up. All right. Hello. So you are just kind of meditating and training with Umbra that night, and as you guys kind of wind down in your own kind of private room, Lorna has kind of left to go spend some time with family. It's just the two of you tonight. Umbra will, in this kind of one-on-one time, will ask you, questions about things that happened today. And he says, who is that lady that we met today?
I assume he's talking about the queen.
Yeah, the one with the weird hat.
Yeah, pretty much that's the she's the lady that rules this area. And she is Lorna's aunt, right? No, like out of character. Like that is her aunt, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought, but
yeah, it'll go. He'll ask kind of look at you and goes. So why don't they want us to kind of go on our own little journey? It seemed like they didn't like us going on our our own little adventure. Is everything okay, or should I be? It sounds scary outside of here. What are we thinking?
Well, I mean, the world is scary everywhere.
Fair, but they didn't really. I mean, it sounds like a lot of bad things are happening nearby. I mean, how are you? How are you gonna? How am I gonna? Or how are you gonna keep me safe? Is basically kind of what he's asking you.
So currently a work in progress. Like, first we got to figure out if it's best to keep you with us or find a place we can keep you safely. Like, I'm not just gonna, leave you with anybody. It'd have to be somebody you trust, somebody that we all trust. Or you're with us and I will do everything I can to help keep you safe. Also, part of it is maybe try to help teach you how to keep yourself safe.
He was like, I think I got some. I think I can do some handle myself pretty good, as he kind of does a little imitative flex kind of towards you, and then you'll kind of see him burp all of a sudden. That kind of disrupts his flex, and then a little bit of acid breath kind of drips from his mouth and falls on the luckily stone floor, so it doesn't do too horrible of damage to the room. And he kind of just looks down at it and looks back up at you like, what just happened?
So
yeah, that was interesting. I'll have to keep that a little bit more under control, I guess.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll learn. I can do something similar myself, but once you get older and you get bigger and stronger, your breath is going to be a lot stronger than mine. But pretty much as a black dragon, you are comfortable with acid. So you'll learn how to spit acid and other things like that.
He kind of looks at kind of as you guys are talking about like his that and like the family that he's met today of Lorna's. He then kind of looks at you as like, if Lorna looks like her family, then why don't we look like each other? He kind of just looks at you with a he goes, you're not a black dragon. He goes, what are you to, or are you my dad? Or he just looks very confused. Like he's been trying to figure out the relationship. Now that he's just catapulted to 6 years old in like a matter of days, he's kind of coming up to kind of figuring things out really, really quick at a crazy speed. And he just kind of trying to figure out who you are. Like he's like, he looks at you. He looks at you with a view that you're his caretaker, and kind of like you're his dad, but he's questioning it. Like, Lorna looks like her parents. I don't look like you, and you don't look like me, kind of thing.
Yeah. So, in a blood relationship, no, we are not related at all. But in the aspect of caring for you, I guess would be considered the closest thing to like a father. And like then I would also tell him a little bit about like my upbringing, where I had multiple mentor like father like figures around. That none of them was related, but it didn't really change the fact that that's how he viewed him.
You'll find that as you kind of describe your own relationships with some of your other people in your life, that things are starting to kind of click with him, and he's starting to kind of understand the dynamic between you and him, and you guys and Lorna and everything. Is there anything else you wanted to do besides continue training, or anything else you want to ask him, or just in general? He seems eager to stay with you. He will say that I don't like being put in a cage.
Yeah, so the cage is no more. Like the cage was, you were a wild flight like creature with no way of actually communicating, since you were still an infant. So that was to try to help keep you safe and all that stuff, because as we talked about before, the world right now does not like dragons. So that's why we really need to work on keeping you safe and you being able to keep yourself safe.
You see a little puff of smoke kind of come out of his nostrils, and he kind of says, okay, but I don't want to be in a cage again.
Yep.
And he'll continue on with the training. Is there anything else you wanted to do before I pull, Lorna in here again?
Not really. Like, I know I'm sitting there trying to, out of the character, figure out how to get to the point where we realize, like, hand-to-hand fighting is not really just going to be his strength, like we had talked about. And getting into...
I think it's a little early right now. I mean, this just happened. I think it'll come up naturally, but I can't Yeah, I think that's a good question, but I don't know how way to bring that up organically day one.
Yeah. That's the only thing I got going on. I'm trying to.
You're just trying to see. He seems to be, he's dexterous enough to kind of keep up, but it's obviously he's a child, and this is day one, so
Yep.
Nothing too insightful. All right, I'm gonna move you back up, and then I'm gonna resolve Lorna's thing, and then we'll kind of skip forward the next few days and kind of resolve a few more things.
All right.
All right. Hey, Lorna, you there?
Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
I gotta pull up your family tree.
Just a few people.
Here. Where are you at? Here we go. All right, so you're the family that you can probably visit in the city right now would be Hamish, Aelith, Hubert. Your uncle Harris is at the front lines in Faywin.
Yep.
Flora would be out in the druid circles, probably not in the capital. Davina, Davina. I gotta look up my notes on her. Davina. What do we say about Davina? So you had some sisters that are kind of out and about, so I think they're going to be hard to kind of tag down at home for a short amount of time, or at least like immediately, just like to find easily at night.
I mean, even if she just like has a night with her mom and dad, like that's still fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, you would find you would be able to definitely join your mother and your father either in the hall, or if you wanted to be more in private quarters, they have more private quarters where you guys could eat and dine just as a family. What were you kind of looking to do? Do you want to just be as more private with just immediate family?
Yeah, I think just more of like a family reunion kind of thing, like telling them about like what she's done and like all that, and just like being home with them. Like she's homesick. Like she misses her mom and dad. Like she might be all like tough and broody and like I can handle myself, but like she misses her family.
You'll notice that during dinner, and as you guys talk about these different things that have happened to you, your dad seems very interested in like knowing more, but your mother has cuts him off when he starts to ask more questions. You get the impression that they do their best to not talk about military and strategy or anything war related while they're dining. It's not a rude thing. They're not upset if you bring it up. It's just that it seems like it's kind of become an unspoken rule at the table.
To not talk about it, yeah.
He kind of looks at Defeating and just gestures, kind of like, this is things we need to discuss. But your mother's not having any of that. Mary will join. Well, not Mary. I'm sorry. Davina will join you later in the evening. She's not cleaned up or anything. It looks like she's just came back after a long more hunt at dusk and came back and just kind of handling or trading her catches at the market, and heard that her sister had returned back. She kind of she's quieter and softer spoken, but she does open the door, and you do catch her with a smile that she, that seeing you have returned, and she will, start to extend her hands with a gentle hug towards you.
And Lorna totally doesn't accept the gentle hug and just like picks her up like she used to as a kid, because she still can.
if you swing her around, she's quite light and frail, or not frail, but she's quite
petite,
a light little petite little sister to you, and you do so with little trouble, kind of tossing and spinning her around the room. You will also, let's see here, your uncle excuse me, your uncle Hubert would eventually show up as well to join you all for dinner and kind of catch up with you more this evening. Is there anything special, or or not special, like I guess maybe something that your care or something that you want to know, but maybe not? That I don't know. Is there any questions that you have specifically for your family, or are you just kind of like catching up? You kind of. I guess I'm curious. Is there something that you'd like to like?
Like something that
find or learn during this experience besides just catching up with them?
She probably would. So she'd probably explain what happened with like just a general knowledge of what happened in Neverland. But then she'd kind of like look to her father like, because she knows that he's a military person and he probably like trained her a little bit, but she'd actually probably be like, so I think I lost some memories and I don't remember who trained me or anything like that. I know that I got trained, but I don't remember who or where or when. And she'd probably like ask for a bit more behind that.
Your father will probably be the most kind of shocked at this, and he'll be like, just really concerned, just about basically how questioning the safety of your adventures and stories you shared after learning that you are not given all in one piece as he has thought. He'll kind of look at you and he goes, you don't mean to forget the times you spent on the Pikel Islands, or are you saying that you don't remember your who kind of took you under his wing or trained you during your time there?
I don't even remember kind of where I was trained. Yeah, I don't know who. I lost a lot of memories in there. I got predominantly most of them back, but
yeah, he just looked really concerned and look at you like it's hard to know where you're going if you don't remember where you've been.
Yeah.
Perhaps you heading out right away is not the greatest idea after all. Maybe we need to get in touch with your sister while you have time here in Dumbrooke.
Yeah, we have a couple of commissions in the town, so we'll be here for a couple of days, but me losing a couple of memories, it's not gonna stop me, Dad. I can still fight. I haven't lost that, I don't think.
Wait. You lost Alexander during your training there too, though. You right, or not necessarily during training, but during your time over there, I believe. He goes, I think Alexander means a whole lot to you, and I think not remembering that is maybe more detrimental than your ability to swing a sword.
Wait, I lost him there?
In the Pikel Islands, I thought that's where you guys fought
the. Yeah, no, this is her in character. Like I know I lost him, but
he'll nod. That's what I mean, my dear. I think maybe at least ask your sister how long it would take if her or any of her circle would be able to help with that. No one here in town will be able to, there's no kind of priest or clerics to kind of deal with forgotten memories or anything, but perhaps maybe her and her circles may know of
Okay.
a way.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. I'll go visit her tomorrow after we talk with Aunt Merida. But yeah, I don't think after that, she really has any other comments. She's probably asked about like what is happening with the rest of them, like outside of the war. But yeah.
Yeah, and they'll just share a lot of the same stuff that you've kind of already have discussed.
Cool.
And then you guys retire for the evening. They all like enjoy the reunion, and your father or your mother and father give you details on how to find your sister. Outside of Dunbrook, sadly, the Druid circles don't often come to town except for every great once in a while if they need, or if there's something like some kind of celebration or some kind of ceremony that's already been planned.
Yeah.
With the circles and the different clans. So sorry, I'm just trying to remember the right name. Flora
Yes,
is the
Flora.
druid sister.
Yep.
All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move this back up to the other channel. Unless is there any last minute questions?
No. Did Josel have something he needed to do today? Did you already talk to him?
No, he went to sleep, but then I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a skip forward. I think
Okay.
maybe
Cool.
I'll do his first, and then we'll kind of go to your thing.
Cool. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Anything before I skip to the morning and
did I get any responses on the paper at all, or?
Oh, paper. Yes, that's why I thought I had to say something to you too. Real quick, I'll maybe. um, yeah. All right. So on the paper, let's see here. The last thing you wrote was what you posted in the channel. You are going to. You are going to receive writing back from a excited sister, but worried in her tone. She kind of like exclaims off the bat of the letter that you're alive, and she's and that she had feared the worst after so long, but she is just so happy to hear that you were alive again. But the tone quickly shifts as she says that she's kind of terrified, scared about what the next coming days are gonna have to hold for her and those at Glimmerdeer and those in Dallenberg. Uh, she'll kind of write about how you can start to hear the drums and the beats of the marching armies coming from Burlos down into the Dragonfang Forest. The smoke is not something off in the distance, but now fires like on the horizon. As the forest kind of continues to be chopped down by the marching army of the Empress. She kind of and she kind of signs off in the letter that she hopes that you find the keys that you're seeking, and that or you find what you are looking for, and it's that it will be it'll be the difference between the return of the empire and that's kind of overcoming this the Empress. And that's going to be the end of the letter. And then you can kind of respond to that as you wish in a channel if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll think of what I'm going to respond there. Nothing from Faye's mother at all?
She would share, the same sentiment that she's glad that you're alive, but she would only say that, no, your mother would have the news to share. there's civil distress, and there's a lot of inner turmoil down in Menzo right now. It seems like the efforts that took place in to assist the surface to assist King Richard and the Asmarians was not too fondly looked over, considering it did cost them several of their own people, and now that they are getting more, the Druagar are starting to fold to the Forgotten, and are putting a lot more pressure down in the Underdark against them, kind of splitting them very thinly between their support on the surface and their support in the Underdark at the moment. Things are starting to look grim for them in the deep.
I will respond back to my mother. That doesn't sound good. We'll try and hurry as best we can to find these other artifacts. But I don't know if it can be done through this sheet or whatnot. And I don't know if you know any. Are you aware of any sequences or any teleportation circles? I've learned that spell. And if you're in danger, maybe this might be a way we can move quickly to help you or help whoever we can. I know a few locations, but none that other than Glimmerdeer that's really useful at the moment.
Gotcha. And she'll kind of respond to you in a little bit when she has a moment to kind of reply to that.
Yeah, because all I know is I got to see I just need to be shown the sequence and study for a minute. I don't know if I can do that through the sheet or not.
We'll go ahead and skip forward to her answer because of that, and that is going to be basically, she's going to say, like, because you have to rip off those small strips of the paper and hand them out to me. She's going to probably just express that that's going to be very difficult to do across this, to accurately kind of represent for you to be able to study it and everything, and I don't think it would work too incredibly well through the golden paper. So out of character, it just won't, it's not going to work that way.
It was worth learning.
Yep, absolutely. All right, I will go ahead and move you. Not that you can't learn it from other ways, it's just not through that golden paper. Is all I'm saying.
All right.
Like, I will say that there are some, like, possibly. I don't want to say scrolls, but they're probably more like
Tomes or whatnot.
Tomes, or like very specific texts for how to teleport to a kingdom, and maybe the quote unquote securities that kingdoms place around their permanent circles to prevent unwanted guests.
Yeah, or the people that have made the circle showing me the sequence.
Yeah, like there might be mechanics. For example, you may know someone has a teleportation circle, but they might have things in place to prevent unwanted guests. So you might need to learn something from those people who own the circle to be able to utilize it in some regards. So 1 second. All right. Is there any other questions?
When I'm praying, do I hear any voices in my head or no?
What are you? Who are you're praying to? Illustrate?
I'm kind of praying to Illustrate, I guess, coming back, since Faye, when she lost her memory originally in Neverland after dying, felt that connection between her and Pazora kind of weaken a bit. And having the memory back, I guess she kind of wants to see if their connection is as strong as it was again, I guess.
Probably would be torn to focus on one or the other. I don't know if you could focus on both. like praying to two different people at the same time. Or at least spread out the prayer or the meditation across maybe a
Yeah.
night, morning.
Yeah, that's probably what Faye would do, because in the morning she'll be kind of remaking her weapon, her packed weapon, and her hexed warrior weapon. That's probably when she'd be focusing on Pizora.
Okay, go ahead and just make me a persuasion check.
Can I give myself guidance?
Yes.
Alrighty. Ooh, 27.
Oh, I'm not looking at that page. Shoot. What was it?
27.
27. Okay. I will say during your prayer that night and your kind of silent contact with your patron in the morning, you do feel kind of a warming embrace from Illustrate, and you feel like a kind of a renewed connection with your patron. Now you're back on this plane of existence. And I'm going to move us back up, and then I'm going to kind of skip forward to some of the other group stuff that they want to do, and kind of maybe try to montage our way through a few days here.
All right.
Move you right back up. Okay. Hello, everyone. So the night winds down. Everyone kind of rests, and then Jothel, you said you get up super early like you normally would. What do you want to do first, Jothel? In the morning.
What was that?
Sorry, that's my cat.
I probably, yeah, I'll probably walk around the town.
Okay.
Just just looking, nothing particular.
Okay. Do you stick around for breakfast, or just kind of go off and do your own thing in the morning?
Yeah, he'll get breakfast.
Okay. So everyone wakes up in the morning, has breakfast, but then afterwards, Josel, you head out to town. You're looking around. You are gonna come across some shops that you might have missed along the way. There's some general stores that have just some common supplies. There's some fur and pelt trading places that make some armors that are kind of like the same style in what you saw some of the other guards and kind of the more warrior like individuals of the city, what they've been wearing and you've been seeing them in. You find yourself plenty of drinkware, like little custom mugs that they'll engrave for you. Some of the little shops along the way. You'll also start to notice some areas where there is some noise and commotion coming from. Clearing through some of this business market will reveal kind of a broader area where there are several kind of open fields, some quote unquote scarecrows or training dummies, and there is quite a few citizens here sparring with one another, and not with like wooden swords. They're using fully a lot of these are fully bladed weapons, and they're you'll see some that are splintering the shields of the others and striking very, very hard at one another, and it's pretty grueling, their training exercise in front of you. Is there anything else that you want to is there anything you'd like to do, or anything else that you'd like to keep looking for?
I would join in if they would accept an outsider to spar with.
They would. You kind of would if you move yourself, kind of try to insert yourself. There seems to be a. Oh, one moment.
By the way, Lauren, there's been a change of plans.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So we're going to go here first. Depending on whether or not these people are at war with the tiefling over here. If they are, we're going to go straight here, get the key from here, and then we're going to go here to get a key from here, and we're going to teleport here.
And then go get the blue stone up top.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll have the blue stone and bring it to us.
Oh my god.
If they're not at war with them, then we'll go here, try to lose them in the desert, grab this stone, and then come here, get the stone from here, teleport here, and then we go to the get the blue stone.
Fuck. Okay. I guess all this happened while Lorna was having a nice family meal, talking to her mom. It's fine.
You do realize the problem was you left us alone.
Yeah.
With no adult supervision.
Yeah, no, she's
unsupervised.
Oh, do you guys want to discuss this at breakfast before you head out,
Yes.
Is this something that needs? Because I think I need to be refreshed on what the plan is as well now.
No, but we'll do it when we talk to Merida.
Okay. So you go ahead and you want to start training. They do have all sorts of weapons to train from. They have, including great swords, any kind of weapon that you really are looking for. Do you want to train with anything specifically, Josel, or just kind of just jump into whatever kind
of? I'll just use my sword for now. I will even train with my bola axe as well.
Oh, the the thing that you can throw?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That I am not very good at because that requires dex.
Okay. Go ahead and let's do a couple things. Let's do an athletics check, an acrobatics check, and also let's do a dex attack and a strength attack.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
Ironic, but okay. You said strength?
Yeah, like a strength-based attack that you have, and then a dexterity-based attack that you have.
Oh, you mean like a weapon attack?
Yeah, like a weapon attack.
Okay. Here. Okay.
Let's do strength, right? Yep. Right, and that is.
Wow, that sounds pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So you will train with someone that is quite a bit younger than you and quite a bit has a little bit of a larger demeanor, physique. He wields a great axe and kind of attacking and fighting with you. When you get through some of the initial kind of back and forth with him, but he will during this when you were trying to make a swing at him and he was trying to take a blow, during one of your missed attacks, he grabbed you and threw you across kind of like the training grounds that you guys were initially fighting in. You scramble back to your feet though before he kind of comes in to kind of deliver a attack while you're on the ground. You spring up to your feet, kind of making an attack with your sword, just disarming him and getting the upper hand, kind of bringing it close to that first round with each other. You guys then spar off again. This time you are trying to practice with your bull axe. You do fairly decent with it in a hand-to-hand way with it against with this gentleman, but when you it's hard to really get a good range or distance for you to get a throw or like try to throw it at him or wrangle him up because he constantly is getting right in your personal space. It's effective, but it's just not quite not quite the practice that you really were hoping to get, I guess, out of such a close range weapon, or I'm sorry, a dexterous weapon that requires like be throwing stuff at. You could still definitely spend some time here on the training ground, not sparring with someone and just using your bow axe, though, just to kind of throw it and aim at training dummies here while you're here too. It doesn't have to be while you're fighting with someone else here. So if that's something you would like to continue to pursue, you have those opportunities as well here.
Yeah, I'll start doing that.
Okay. And continuing off that your acrobatics roll, then I would say you can easily, what little experience you got from the up close and personal combat training, you kind of made up in your time with some of the training dummies, and trying to wrangle them up around the legs on the range, if you will. So did you stay here training most of the day while Lorna goes to talk to her aunt, or did everyone want to go talk with Lorna and talk to Merida?
Oh, I'm going with her to talk to Merida for sure.
Joseph will head back. I mean, he just does this early in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we would wait for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would mention to everyone, I heard back from Leia. It seems they're getting even closer to Schallenberg every day now. They don't know how much longer they might be able to last.
Okay. I mean, we'll definitely mention that to Aunt Merida, but
there's not gonna be anything she can do.
No.
Yeah. And I also talked to my mother. We're losing control of the Underdark.
Yep.
And I found out from her, learning sequences to the golden paper won't work as well as I was hoping. So I'm either going to have to be shown it, or I'm going to have to be taught by someone who's made the circle, or find a tome that has a circle in it.
I might be able to get us one near Franzan pending. I have to ask him. And I mean, we can take a ship and then walk. Also, remember, at some point, we're going to have to ourselves known loudly.
True.
If we're going to let both sides not get demolished. Both continents? Yeah, that's fine. Also, after talking to your aunt, did we have any other plans for the day?
After that chat, no, I don't think we have any plans as a group unless we wanted to do something. I know my father is urging me to go and see my sister in the Druid's Grove about the missing memories.
They can help with that?
Oh, you didn't get all your memories back?
Neither did I. That could be useful.
That is unsettling that you all didn't get it back.
Yeah.
How much of Neverland do you remember?
I don't think I remember Neverland. We were there.
Yep. Got it.
I mean, I remember the last little bit where we got the key, but
I do remember that. But I don't think that was really Neverland.
Very true. Probably why we remember it.
In Undercommon, I'll look at me. Do you remember Lorna kissing Cronus after you brought her back from the dead?
No. But thank you for that image.
Oh, it was great.
Oh God.
So we had this plan where when we go and get the key from the tiefling, I just realized that there's 2 other keys nearby, relatively speaking. One in the desert, one in Gray Coast.
Okay.
Depending on whether or not the tiefling is currently battling the people of Gray Coast, if they are, we'll go to get the white crystal first, and then we're going to head to the red one that's in the desert, and then hopefully we'll bamf back to the here if there's a circle here, and then we'll head to get the blue crystal.
Yeah. Also, at some point, hopefully while we're here, I need to try and figure out how to find the other things.
The other keys?
Yeah, wasn't it somebody who said I'd probably be able to once I had one? Someone smart. It may have been Tao.
No,
Tao did not say that. Tao definitely did not say that.
It was somebody.
I think it was Solana that might have mentioned that.
It was someone. But
I remember we brought it up before we met the Pirate Council.
Yeah, and when I was in the other place, I could see the keys. Twice. How I found you guys both times. So that, and then I need to figure out what's going on at Fran's End. Yep. Figure out what's going on at Fran's End, and then I don't even know what research would do at this point, but we should probably do that too.
Yeah. Okay. Lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got this. To the Queen?
Yes.
To the Queen.
It's early, but she's already prepared and in the chamber. No one else really has arrived in her chambers yet. She kind of expectingly sees you enter her room early this morning. She goes, I figured you guys wouldn't linger too long on discussing. And she just kind of greets you into the room, and you guys kind of have a private audience with the Queen right now. Is there anything you guys would like to ask or say or discuss?
So, I think our plan, our initial plan of action, is to go over to Faywin and try and take her out. Get that other key and maybe rescue my brother?
You see her face kind of illuminate. And being that it's just you all in the room and no one else, none other peers, you'll see that she'll actually kind of come over and give you a hug, Orna. And then she'll look at the rest of you. She's not going to hug everyone, but she'll look at the rest of you and then it's kind of like make eye contact, even with you, Faye, and of your group. She goes, I know you guys are I know you guys are on your own, journey, and sometimes the paths may or may not cross with ours, but so it's like thank you guys for helping in this effort in this, as this will greatly hopefully help the Northern Kingdoms. She will then say she will recommend, though, definitely gather yourselves, rest yourselves, recover, prepare for something, for very it doesn't sound like it's going to be an easy task over there, so don't rush off immediately, but make sure that you guys are prepared for when you are ready to step forth, and I will definitely make arrangements for you to meet your uncle on the front lines to hear about their latest plans and news of what they know about this tiefling and this fortress.
Good. I think in preparation for this, if you know of a teleportation circle that's close here, we would appreciate if we could get that. Our Faye here is able to teleport us back.
It would be most useful if we're able to free some prisoners. We can get them back here quickly.
She kind of shakes her head, no, that she doesn't know of any immediate teleportation circles in Galos, but she does hang on that statement and then mention that perhaps that some of the druid circles have, there are some magic that it's even private to them that they don't share with me, and perhaps they may have some way to get, or some kind of teleportation that would bring you back here. But the only teleportation that I would probably help you with is probably a tome to reach the teleportation circle in Dresdos. That's the only kingdom that has shared theirs with the rest of us in the Northern Kingdom.
Where is Dresdos?
Where?
Where is
right here. It's
oh, it's specific. Okay.
Yeah,
not Feywind.
Right. Dresdos is the capital in Feywind.
Oh, okay.
That's
like, it's better than nothing.
That actually might be better. That we could get there quickly.
Yeah, but we could get there in the middle of the frickin' war zone.
So she'll say this is to the royal capital of Feywind, the Dresdos. It's within their city proper. It's within their city walls, I guess.
They're crumbling city walls.
And how
far?
How far from the front line is it?
Also, have you heard from them in a while?
I mean, yes, they've been in pretty regular communication with Feywind and what's happening on the front lines with the military and stuff. Feywind, Franzan, and Galos all have a kind of a unified, have sent forces to their front lines to help kind of keep the enemies at bay, if you will.
Okay, out of character, where's the forest that everything is happening?
Where's the forest?
Yeah, where is all of the battle exactly?
Okay, right. Imagine the forest and the battle is right where that Yellowstone really is at. So
okay,
and then the capital is like all the way over here. The kingdom is over here. So this front line is kind of happening in between here. They've got kind of 3 different kingdoms trying to keep the enemies from just taking over the wilds of Feywind and all the marshes and trying to keep them contained.
Okay.
That actually answers one of our questions that Josel was bringing up.
Yeah, we can get this white crystal first. I mean, we can get this one, then we can come down here, and then we can move over here.
Are you saying this in front of Merida?
Yes.
She will say the Grey Coast has not been too active in this fight against Feywind, but the Grey Coast is primarily, they don't really get too much involved in anyone's affairs. To kind of,
I thought they were one of the kingdoms that were helping.
They are helping by not allowing the enemy into their territory. They are offering, they're fighting with them again in the sense of keeping the Feywild from coming out, but they're not going actively into Feywind's country to, help rebuild or defend their lands.
Okay,
they're kind of bringing like the southern end of the marshes.
Here, there. Everyone got that?
Yup. Back.
Yeah, and just again remember that those stones on the map are not like X marks the spot. Like it's exactly right here, or more like
We know. Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want you to be like, well, we were in we walked around in the Antarctica with no bearing. We never found it. Like you might need to find things to discover things.
Right, that's more accurate. There you go.
Do we know who the family that is in charge of Faywin is?
You know that Aurora. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her last name. Let me go look it up. Where are you? Oh, where is it? Man, I can't find it. It's King Philip and Queen Aurora. I can't remember what their last names is. I will have to look that up. But those are the royal leaders of Faywin in the capital of Dresdos. And so, is there anything else that you want to, or ask? I guess Merida, now that she says that she can get you a teleportation tome to the capital of Faywin, or
Guess I'll study that, and then I think seeing if the druids have a circle or anything, that's gonna be useful as well.
I'm gonna go talk to her later today or tomorrow, so I can see if they have anything.
Can I come with you, since I also A, don't remember Neverland, and B, that sounds cool.
And if they do, I think I gotta be there to look at it. So is it alright if I come?
Sure.
You do realize you can say no.
Let me go see them first, and then we have those earrings, don't we?
Don't those only work within a certain distance?
Oh.
Yeah.
Heck. Do they?
You can make a history check, Lorna, if you or a religion check if you want to see if your character would know if it's appropriate or not to bring that many strangers to like the druid circles.
Sure. History or religion? They're both the same,
yeah.
and I have disadvantage. Okay.
Why do you still have disadvantage?
Yeah, we slept.
I did 2 frenzy rages.
Yeah.
I was 2 levels of exhaustion.
So
yeah, I need to sleep 1 more day to get rid of that.
Your familiarity with the religion and history with druid circles doesn't make you an expert to make a judgment call in regards to how druid circles would see you bringing random strangers to visit. But your better judgment, or your common, I don't want to say common sense, let's look this way, you're not so sure that someone so different like Faye may not be welcomed immediately.
Racist, gotcha.
Of course.
They may not the drow stranger may be a little bit more off-putting than the halfling.
Yeah. Why don't
yeah, she's a drow, and drow are not nice people in this world primarily.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Let me go first. Talk to my sister, explain the situation, explain that you're not a bad person, and then I'll come get you guys.
I guess I'll get started on those.
Yeah.
Holy water for Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Maybe I can go find a quiet field to practice one of the spells I just learned from Daddy.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Lorna, is there like a protocol to go talk to somebody in another clan, or can I just go and ask?
Oh, are you wanting to
Is
talk to
there
like a
a
higher up, or like what are you gonna ask?
He was older and wore a lot of rings.
Oh, you want to talk to him specifically?
He's the only one who mentioned knowing anything about the broodmother, so yeah.
You know, just say that I sent ya.
Oh, good. That was going to be my first line anyway.
Oh, great. Put it all on me. That's fine. It's fine. It's a
I'm
good
sorry.
thing I'm related.
I missed the question. What are you asking?
If Lorna knew if there was any specific protocol to talk to somebody in another clan, but
Gotcha.
And then somebody else with the key at some point today. We need to hang out so I can try and figure out how to find you.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear. So Cronus, what are you doing today? So it sounds like. Well, let me get this straight. So you guys are done meeting with Merida. She's going ahead and gonna give you Faye a tome so you can study the teleportation circle. Well, if you're gonna give it to Lorna, but I assume Lorna, you're gonna give it to Faye to start studying the teleportation circle for Faywin. Then.
Yes.
I just need to look at it for 1 minute.
I give it to you and I head out and say, just leave it on my bed when you're done. You know where my room is.
I just kind of copy down the intricacies of the circle, and then it's on her table.
Okay. So I would say that you probably have enough time to do that right there with Merida. If I didn't understand that's how easy it was. That way she would keep the tome, and it would. I imagine that would make sense. That way she would just give away the access to a royal kingdom's capital.
Yeah, or
that works pretty good.
Yeah, it is literally. I just have to look at it for 1 minute.
Okay. So while Faye goes to work on those holy waters for Josel, Lorna and Anika, are you guys heading out immediately to go to the Druid circles? To go visit your sister and everything, or is there something that you want to do today before you do all that?
First off, yes, we will do that, but she does go over to... Why am I blanking on names today? Fuck, Josel, I'm sorry. Goes over to Josel. I promise we'll train. Again. I just need to do this real quick.
Alright.
Okay. And if not, we can still practice on the road. But yeah, then we'll go there.
Okay. All right. All right. So you guys kind of take care of some of your business earlier in the day, and you'll be given like a horse to ride out on the both if you guys want to share one, or you can get a little pony if you want, Anika.
Absolutely, I do. Point of pride now.
Wait.
Lorna, you have a horse, and Anika's on a little pony. As you guys kind of ride out, it's the Greenlands of Galos, trying to track down the Druid circles. This is going to take some time, as you know, it's kind of a nomadic kind of group, and they don't necessarily stay in one spot. But some of their normal locations that they rotate between. So you guys head out. Lorna, go ahead and give me a survival check, and with advantage because Anika's out there helping you, trying to track down these
awesome
your sister in these circles.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Let me pause right there, and we'll come back to how. But I will say that with that survival check, that it doesn't take you it doesn't take you all day to find the circles. but it's kind of late in the afternoon once you finally do arrive to that druid circle.
Okay.
Josel and Cronus and Umbra, you guys are back at home. Faye's you're kind of in this time working on holy water, and another kind of preparations. What are you, Josel and Cronus? Let's start with you, Josel. What are you doing?
I want to go back to the training grounds. I'm going to continue practicing my bull axe.
Okay. Definitely. I'm going to let's see here. Now, when are you trying to actually work on a specific ability when you do this, or are you just practicing just to become more and more accurate with it?
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to become more accurate with it.
Okay. All right. I like this idea. So, okay, go ahead and let's do 3. Are you proficient in acrobatics?
Negative.
Okay, let's just do 3 dexterity base attacks.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
All right. While Faye's been working on your holy water, you've been spending some extra hours at the fields, kind of making use of what they have available to work with. It's you start off pretty good with a good, pretty strong, but it's kind of you're struggling on maintaining that accuracy and that consistency. But by the end of the day of practicing and working on this, you feel like you've gotten a little bit better. You're starting to see some progress. And is there anything else you wanted to do this day?
No, he's just going to wait for Lorna, and if there's still some time left on the day, he'll train with her her great sword.
Okay. Cronus, what would you like to do today with Umbra or with anyone else?
Well, first I would like to go to the blacksmith to check on how the swords are coming out.
You'll see that he has kind of barely got started with them. You see that he's kind of followed the higher orders, and he's excuse me. He's kind of you kind of see like it seems very questionable if he's going to be able to meet the commitment he promised you. 1 second. Sorry, dying here. But he'll kind of look at you and say, I'd be making a little bit more progress if I had a few extra helping hands. Can I, do you know anything about smithing? I
watched somebody else do it one time.
He goes, you seem like a strong fellow. And he'll say, like, I'll offer you, I'll knock 50 gold off. I'll give you 50 gold if you kind of chip in and help me out, and that'll help me get back on track with getting your stuff made for you and your friends. Actually, I think he's only making something for you, Cronus. So nix that last thing, but he'll offer. He's basically just seeing if he can hire you to do some extra heavy lifting for him and kind of get him back on track here.
Yeah, no, I'll do it. But I would tell him that the gold is going to go to like the orphanage for anything that they might need.
So noble.
I mean, I've given to orphanages in every town we've gone to.
He'll just kind of nod and then start giving you some orders around the shop. Kind of some just general upkeep. A lot of it's just moving piles of material from one place to another, kind of cleaning up messes around the shop. Umbra just looks bored and watching you do all these chores. Kind of it's trying to just watching you do it, and this is not really too entertained. Go ahead and do a athletics, an acrobatics, and a Do you have any tool proficiencies?
Negative.
Let's just do a dexterity check then as well.
Okay, so acrobatics, athletics, and dex.
Okay. So you quickly kind of make quick work of all like the maintenance and cleaning and everything else of the place, getting it back in kind of a somewhat maintained workspace, at least where things are easily accessible or that you can find with ease now. But we kind of got it's kind of got slowed down on the materials and moving the piles of large pieces of metal and ore that he needs to kind of forge and make more weapons. You know, understandably so. Some of this metal is just extremely heavy, and it just took some extra time for you to move around. You did do a little bit of time with a hammer here and there. You lacked the professionalism to kind of get the blade, craft anything refined here, but you were able to kind of help him start to what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot, you were able to kind of get the shapes and forms of blades and weapons started, and getting them malleable, and just kind of getting it in its cruder shapes for him to go back and refine, or him to go behind you and refine and give it that really nice polished, professional conclusion to the item. And you are able to help him get back on track. It looks like he's going to probably be able to finish your swords by the next day, actually, with all the help that you offered him today. Umbra will kind of be, while watching you play, go ahead and let's do, you know what, Umbra is going to maybe start practicing, like while he's kind of bored waiting for you, cleaning this place and helping. You will catch Umbra out of the corner of your eye performing some of those the stances that you kind of went over the other night with him. But as you're cleaning and picking things up, he quickly loses the balance by the dust kind of inhaling it and then sneezing and falling on his butt, and he loses all kind of poise and posture as he's trying to practice those kind of forms you showed him the day before. Going back to that kind of brings you guys to kind of the later hours, those that are in Dresdos, and you guys have not seen Anika and Lorna return back to you guys yet. You guys it's about 4 or 5 o'clock for dinner. Do you all get together for dinner while Anika and Lorna are out with her sister and the druids?
Would I have been able to go get my diamond that was being engraved?
That was being done by the same group that's enchanting the wagon.
Yeah, right? Patrick. He did say it'd take about a day to engrave it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that he's pretty much focusing on the wagon at the moment. He will probably get he'll probably get the diamond near the tail end of when he gets kind of wrapped up with the wagon. Because he doesn't know exactly, he hasn't done that kind of enchantment specifically. He has a really strong, confidence in it, but he's kind of working on the thing that he's the most kind of concerned with at the moment, which is kind of making sure this gets applied properly. So
okay.
So you might have to wait till the end when the wagon's ready to get that diamond as well.
Fair enough. I just wanted to meet my dragon.
Okay.
But I guess in that case, Faye might just be flying around the broom since it's been so long. Faye, it's finally working properly.
Okay. All right. You will fly around on the broom in the air, and it's a spectacle for some of the children of the city to kind of see this witch flying around. I mean,
I am a warlock. That's the best way to describe a warlock, as a witch.
Actually, probably the first the first time you're out and about on it, I will say that an arrow passes you limply by as you see a small toddler kind of shoot it at you in the air as you start to terrify him and his little sister. he's quickly scolded by his parents, kind of identifying the situation, but still kind of scared and nervous of your presence flying around on a broom.
Seeing the arrow, I might just play along with like he actually shot me. Just make, just kind of do an entertaining dive like he shot me.
Okay. Go ahead and do a performance check.
Alrighty. I did not have guidance, so that is just a 20.
All right. It's a pretty convincing performance, minus without letting go of the broom. It's clearly kind of an act, but you know what, because of the performance, the kid doesn't see you quite as threatening as it initially had. And then let's see here. So that's going to bring us kind of to the evening hours of that group, and then kind of bring us to the evening hours as you arrive at the one of the druid circles, camps in the more mountainous kind of regions where it starts to lead into. I'm sorry, not the mountainous regions. Some of the forested regions, kind of in the past the hills and slopes. A little further to the northwest of where Dumbrook is, right between actually, or right outside of the clan of the names again of MacGuffin. So it was quite a bit of a ride to get here, but you finally found the forest and the circle. You kind of enter their various dwellings, some natural kind of bushcraft shelters, some of something that is transporters. Some of them carry their own shelter from place to place. And as you kind of enter, you will see a few individuals kind of approach you. Let me just double check my note real quick, because I think I described one additional thing about these people, and I want to make sure I share that. If I did,
they're hippies.
Almost.
Skybor is there.
Almost.
um, druids are, they definitely fit the bill of hippies to some degree, but rather, I mean, they still wear a lot of the same clothing and garb, though, of what you saw back in the capital, or what you see citizens wear. They do have, some of them are wearing quite a bit more bead and bone and antlers than what you was seeing back at home, but otherwise they wear leather. They have some linens and cloth in their attire that seems like it comes from some someone that kind of produces some kind of cloth out of one of the cities. It's not just hides and leathers that they will wear.
Yeah.
You'll also see some of them having kind of like runes in their some of their garb, like tabards or cloths, or things hanging off of them. And they will you'll see one kind of male kind of approach your group, kind of to initially welcome you to the group, but he's quickly pushed aside by a smaller figure, and you will recognize this as your sister Flora. Kind of pushing the other guy out of the way as she kind of recognizes you approaching on your horse, and rushes out to give you a big hug. And it puts the rest of the camp kind of off at ease as she kind of gives you a big hug and just immediately kind of soaks you in. And I think that's where we'll call it for the night and pick up there.
Aww.
So we'll pick up with you kind of
Yay! See my sister.